Thought for the day. Having a vision for your life allows you to live out of hope rather than out of fear.
Welcome to 7 Minutes for Yourself. I'm Christina Aina, and I'm so glad you've joined me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. Let's take this time to reconnect with ourselves and improve our well-being.
In today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself, we are talking about creating a vision for the life that we want to live. Have a listen.
What would be the coolest thing that could happen over the next 5 years of my life? If you just do that, you are already ahead of 99% of humanity who show up with no game plan, no vision for the future, no clue what they would like to create besides, I would like more money, or I'd like that girl or that guy, or I'd like a nicer car. There's almost no consciousness or conscious energy given to thinking about, what do I want to build in the future? Like, what consciously and concretely do I want to improve? So for me, the way that I do that is, first of all, I have a journal where I'm regularly writing down updates for the kind of life that I want to build. It starts with the vision, which makes me think of the fact that the skyscrapers of New York started with a picture in somebody's head. And so did spaceships. And so did curing a difficult disease. And so when I think of it like that, I always make sure I'm consciously creating, even if it is just in my thoughts, even if it's just up there, both in print journals and in a document that I call 5 years from today. So the 3 things that I use for my yearly envisioning are, 1, the yearly envisioning process I've talked about here, which is basically at the start of each year, I write down what is the coolest thing that could happen this year. Like, perfect year. No limitations, no just be realistic. But what would be the coolest thing that could happen? I put it on one piece of paper that's always on my desk every single day, and I review it twice per day. Now from there, that yearly document also has my daily habits, the unique projects I'm working on in each quarter of the year, as well as the things I know that I need to work on to get better, basically, to improve myself. The second thing is the pocket journal I carry around. This for me is always to record things that may change about my thinking, ideas I get when I read or listen to podcasts, as well as little intuitive hunches that come up. So if I'm talking to a friend or I'm reading a book and I'm like, wow, that would be an awesome idea. For example, that's where all my books came from. Wouldn't it be cool too? ... I put it down in this little book. It's just a little 3x5 moleskin that I always carry around with me. And then day by day, I can flip through that and be like, you know what? These were those cool things I wanted to basically manifest and create in my own life. Let me just keep a note of them. The second way I do that is by doing a weekly journal page. Now, the weekly journal page is just a strategy page, which I talked about in my recent video on journaling for success. And in that strategy page, it's basically, where are you, Alex? Where do you want to be? And are those habits you're doing every day sufficient enough to actually get you there? So the whole point of this journal page is reflection. You're doing this. Are you still on track? If not, what has to change? And then finally, I have this little journal notebook, a digital notebook in Evernote, and it just says 5 years from today. Now, I don't really stick with that idea of 5 years from today, but the point for me is, where do I want to go? In what direction? It could be as simple as moving. Like, I know I'm moving to California after I'm done with my doctorate in Portland. It could be as simple as the relationship you want to be in. For example, I'm 30. I know that I want to be married by 35, so I can have that there. I know that I want to have a private practice and a traditionally published book and 3-4 vacations per year. I put all of that down where I don't know how I'm going to make it happen yet, but it will happen for sure. I haven't quite fleshed out the process. The point is that you're putting trajectories in your brain and in your subconscious. And when you check that every once in a while, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I knew I wanted to do that, but all right, let's start thinking about how I can actually do it. And almost all of those things come true for me, especially if you regularly review that. Now, the second piece here is your habits. So the daily action steps that you're going to actually do to make that a reality. Now, I've shared this philosophy many times. It makes up the bulk of my book, Master the Day. But the point is that you think about the goals you want to reach, and then you have to break them down. Forget the goal, but break it down into a daily habit. So with fitness, you forget losing 30 pounds. The habit is cook every day, go to the gym 20 minutes a day. You want to write a book, you forget having written a book, you put down the habit, write 500 words a day. You want to be in an amazing relationship in 2 years? You forget that goal, you put the habit, I'm going to go out to 4 events where I might meet like-minded people. And that's your daily habit. So you bring it back to, what do I have to do today? Now, the way I track that is a combination of ways. So not only in that yearly visioning document do I put that, I also record it in Evernote. And the reason I do that is because every Thursday, I have a 30 to 45 minute mastermind call. Now, I've had a personal mastermind for over 4 years now, every single week. And it's basically started when I started my business because that was so difficult for me. But it progressed to, like, are you happy? Are you building the life you want? Is your ladder up against the right wall, as the saying goes? Because you might climb the ladder of success and realize you climbed the wrong ladder and you're not where you want to be. So it's also about conscious goal setting and being crystal clear on the path forward, making sure you're going down the right path you want to be down. So I actually have a maximum of 3 goals per year and then 3 habits per goal. For example, the goals are often much more complex than you think. Like, let's say you've only been sleeping 5 hours a night. Well, your daily ritual may have to be, I'm going to disconnect from the computer at 11, I'm not going to have coffee after 5, and I'm not going to stress myself out with homework or with work after a certain time. It may take a few habits. Just like doing well in school or high performing at your work may also be more than one habit. It may mean I'm going to study this study strategy every day and apply that. Or I'm going to do an extra 1 hour of work per day or self-study or something else. The way that I personally do it is just 3 habits per actual goal. And those I track in a weekly scorecard document, which is, these are the 3 things, did I do them Monday through Sunday? And then when I get to my Thursday night mastermind, we all get on the phone and I basically give a report. I did this 50% of the time, 90% of the time. This is what didn't work. This is what I have to improve.
That concludes today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Today and every day with your kiddo is a gift. Enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in.